Israel's foreign minister set out his government's position on Gaza's future during an official visit to the Czech Republic, underlining support for a United States-backed proposal while stressing that security conditions must be met before any long-term plan can move forward. Speaking in Prague alongside his Czech counterpart, the Israeli foreign minister said Israel views the initiative promoted by US President Donald Trump as a framework that could shape what comes next for Gaza, provided it addresses Israel's core security concerns and regional stability. We support the Trump plan in Gaza. In order for it to be implemented, Hamas must be disarmed and Gaza must be demilitarized. This is necessary for both Israel's security and a better future for Gaza. It is critical to dismantle the terror states in the Middle East, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen. Without doing so, there will be no regional stability, he said. The comments come at a time when international attention is focused on how Gaza should be governed and rebuilt following months of intense confrontation. With a fragile ceasefire in place, diplomatic efforts have shifted toward preventing renewed escalation and establishing conditions that could support long-term calm. The US proposal, frequently referred to by officials as a post-conflict framework, envisions Gaza transitioning away from armed control toward a demilitarized territory overseen by interim governance mechanisms supported by international partners. The plan also places emphasis on reconstruction, economic recovery, and humanitarian support for civilians.
Dobrý den. I spoke at Hanukkah event hosted by the local Jewish community here in Prague about a movie.
So I expressed my personal priority on that.
We support the Trump plan in Gaza. In order for it to be implemented, Hamas must be disarmed and Gaza must be demilitarized. This is necessary for both Israel's security and a better future for Gaza. It is critical to dismantle the terror states in the Middle East, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and the Houthis in Yemen. Without doing so, there will be no regional stability.
Israeli officials say that while rebuilding Gaza is essential, it cannot happen in isolation from security arrangements. From Israel's perspective, the presence of armed groups capable of launching attacks makes any civilian or economic recovery unstable and unsustainable. During the Prague visit, the foreign minister reiterated that Israel's backing of the US initiative is conditional, not automatic. He framed demilitarization as a prerequisite rather than an end goal, arguing that security reform is necessary to give civilians on both sides a chance at stability. The Czech government, a long-standing diplomatic partner of Israel, has maintained close ties with Jerusalem and has often expressed support for Israel's right to security, while also calling for humanitarian considerations in Gaza. The meeting in Prague was presented as part of a broader dialogue between allies on how to approach the next phase of regional diplomacy. Across Europe and the Middle East, governments are weighing how much influence and responsibility they are willing to take on in Gaza's future. Some states have expressed readiness to contribute to reconstruction efforts, while others remain cautious, citing concerns over governance, security guarantees and political legitimacy. Within Israel itself, debate continues over the details of the US plan. While senior figures support its overall direction, disagreements have emerged over specific mechanisms, particularly regarding proposed international oversight structures and interim administrative bodies. Israeli officials have publicly stated that some elements discussed by international partners were announced without sufficient coordination with Jerusalem. They argue that any governing or supervisory body for Gaza must align with Israel's security policy and must not include actors viewed as hostile or unreliable. Despite these internal debates, The foreign minister's remarks in Prague aim to project a clear message to international audiences. Israel sees an opportunity in the current diplomatic moment, but will not compromise on issues it views as fundamental to national and regional security. The reference to armed groups beyond Gaza reflects Israel's broader regional outlook. Israeli leaders have long argued that instability in one area is connected to developments elsewhere in the Middle East, and that unresolved armed threats can undermine diplomatic efforts even when limited to a single territory. From Israel's point of view, the Gaza issue cannot be separated from the wider regional environment. Officials contend that sustainable calm requires addressing networks, resources and influence that extend across borders, rather than focusing solely on one geographic area. Supporters of the US framework say it represents one of the most detailed attempts in recent years to move beyond temporary ceasefires toward a structured political and security arrangement. They argue that without such a framework, Gaza risks remaining trapped in cycles of escalation and humanitarian distress. At the same time, critics of the plan, including some within Israel's governing coalition, warn that it leaves too many unanswered questions. These include who will ultimately govern Gaza, how accountability will be enforced, and whether international actors are prepared to remain engaged over the long term. Public opinion inside Israel reflects a mixture of caution and fatigue. Many Israelis express a desire for lasting calm, but remain sceptical about international guarantees and concerned about the risks of renewed instability if armed capabilities are not fully addressed. On the Palestinian side, reactions to international proposals have varied. Some voices emphasize the urgent need for reconstruction and economic opportunity, while others express distrust toward plans that do not clearly outline political rights or long-term self-governance. Humanitarian organizations operating in and around Gaza continue to stress the scale of civilian need. They point to damaged infrastructure, limited access to basic services, and the psychological toll of prolonged conflict. These groups argue that any political or security plan must prioritize civilian well-being alongside strategic considerations. The US administration has described its initiative as a phased approach, beginning with security stabilization and moving toward reconstruction and governance reform. Officials involved in shaping the plan say it is designed to be flexible, allowing adjustments based on conditions on the ground and feedback from regional partners. For Israel, flexibility has limits. The foreign minister's comments underline a consistent position that demilitarisation is non-negotiable. Israeli leaders argue that without it, any rebuilding effort risks being undone by renewed confrontation. Diplomatic engagement on Gaza's future is expected to intensify in the coming weeks. Meetings between Israeli officials and US representatives are planned, as well as discussions with European and regional partners who may play roles in funding or administering reconstruction projects. The Prague visit fits into a wider pattern of Israeli outreach aimed at shaping international understanding of its position. By speaking in European capitals, Israeli leaders seek to influence how allied governments approach debates at international forums and within multilateral institutions. The Czech Republic, which has often aligned itself with Israel on security matters, serves as a receptive platform for these messages. However, even among friendly governments, there is recognition that the path forward will be complex and politically sensitive. Observers note that the current moment differs from previous post-conflict discussions in one key respect: the level of US involvement. President Trump's administration has placed Gaza high on its foreign policy agenda, signaling a willingness to invest political capital in shaping outcomes. Whether that investment translates into lasting results remains uncertain. Previous international efforts have struggled to bridge gaps between security demands, political realities, and humanitarian needs. The Israeli foreign minister's remarks highlight this tension by coupling support for the US plan with firm conditions. He reflects a balancing act between diplomatic engagement and strategic caution. As talks continue, much will depend on whether international partners can agree on enforcement mechanisms and long-term commitments. Without sustained involvement, analysts warn that even well-designed frameworks risk losing momentum. For residents of Gaza and neighbouring areas, the stakes are high. Periods of calm offer opportunities to rebuild lives and communities, but uncertainty about the future continues to weigh heavily. The foreign minister concluded his remarks in Prague by framing Israel's position as one focused on preventing future instability rather than prolonging conflict. By emphasising security as a foundation for a better future, he sought to link Israel's strategic goals with broader regional aspirations for calm. As diplomatic efforts move forward, the challenge for all involved will be translating political statements into practical steps that reduce tensions, support civilians, and create conditions under which long-term stability becomes possible rather than elusive. The coming months are likely to test whether the current alignment of international attention, political will, and regional engagement can succeed where previous attempts have fallen short.